welcome to my channel. I am Stephanie. This is the February 2020 wrap-up and stats. As I said, this is the wrap-up and stats. I started this mid-year last year or so, where I just give you guys like these stats for the month because my reading had went completely crazy. And surprisingly, even with a new job and everything like that, it's still a little crazy. Still a little crazy because these numbers are going to blow your freaking mind. Oh my goodness. So there is going to be a couple changes and things like that. There is always going to be information down in the description box so you guys can time jump if there is a certain category that you are looking for, because I do break it down in categories. Oh crap. Yeah. So I wasn't completely prepared for this because a lot of the stuff that I'm supposed to be telling you guys isn't in here. So, I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm back. Yeah, I had to go get a notebook and stuff like that. So, and I'm doing this because right now, currently, I'm doing the single parent thing because my husband is gone and got lots of things to do. Run around, do swim practice, all by myself, plus working a full-time job. So, let's just get into what happened for the month of February, and I read a whopping 34 books. Yes, there are only 29 days in February, and I started a new job, but I still managed to read 34 books. Craziness, craziness, craziness. 15 of them were audiobooks, 19 of them were actual ebooks, and 15 of them were ARCs. So, that is that breakdown. Crazy, right? So I will tell you that these are even some more stunning numbers, I guess you could say, or unimpressive numbers, because I read 34 books. That equals out to 91 hours of audiobooks and 48 minutes. I said that all wrong. 91 hours and 48 minutes worth of audiobooks, and for a total page count of 9,378 pages. That's a grand total for everything, audiobooks and ebooks, all of it together. So if you kind of do the numbers and things like that, you will notice that I read a lot of novellas, a lot of quick stories for the month of February, which was awesome, but it didn't help my hours of listening or my page count, but that's cool as well. Let's get to some ratings. So I rated 1 DNF. I DNF'd 1 book this month. I had 0 1-stars. I had 2 2-star books. I had 6 3-star books, 18 4-star books, and 7 5-star books. For Blackout 2020, this is where I read Black authors. I read The Worst Best Man by Mia Sosa, Their Eyes Are Watching God by Zora Neale Hurst, and The Right Escape by Cherish Reed. For Genreathon, which is something that I sort of do every month, I pick a category, and for this month my letters were N and K, so that meant book titles and authors' names that started with either one of those 2 letters. And for that I read Fighting Absolution by Kate McCarthy, Imprisoned by K.L. Dawn, and A Side He'd Never Seen by Christy Lee. For Romance Roundabout, or what is now named Romanceopoly, I finished the challenge of, or space, for Flirt's Corner, I guess that's called, but it's a nerdy contemporary, and for that I read Sexy Nerd by Kaylee Loring. I finished The Soldier's Street, which is a romantic suspense set in the military, and for that I read Fighting Absolution by Kate McCarthy. I also read Fated Folly, which is a paranormal romance, and for that I read Lost Girl by D. Garcia. For other readathons and challenges that I participated in February, I participated in the Pops Sugar Challenge by completing the Read a Book with a great first line, and I loved the first line of Fighting Absolution by Kate McCarthy. For a book that was published in 2020, I read The Worst Best Man by Mia Sosa. For my library challenge, for my local library, they are doing a challenge. I completed Read a Book with a Bad Review by DNFing The Kissing Game by Mary Hart. I also read a book that mentions another book within the story, and that was Don't Let Me Go by Tegan Hunter. I also finished the challenge of a book in a genre I've never read before, and for that one I read Their Eyes Are Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston, which I classified as a classic as well as a historical classic. That's how I classified it, because it is a classic and it's historical. So there's that. I also participated in Contemporary-a-thon, which I will link up in the cards so you guys can go check out my wrap-up for that. On to a bookish news. There really isn't any bookish news other than I shut down my Patreon page. Thank you guys that did support me for the little while that I did have it up and running. It just got to be too much work, so I went ahead and shut that bad boy down. We are in the 5th season of Read Me Romance, which is awesome. If you don't know what Read Me Romance is, it is a podcast in which Alexa Riley and Tessa Bailey are the hosts. They do lots of chit-chatting and things like that, and then they offer us a normally it's a novella that is professionally narrated into an audiobook. So we get a book a week, and it's broken down into two episodes on Monday and Friday, and I usually listen to them on Fridays or Saturday mornings because I don't like to wait, so I have to get all my Read Me Romance in at one time. I think that is it. I may be changing my upload schedule, so there's that. I guess that's it for news. On to the Bookish Events. I did not attend any Bookish Events in the month of February. However, I was preparing and ramping up to attend a Polycon in March. So you guys will be hearing about that and seeing vlog videos and things like that. Hopefully, fingers crossed, if everything goes right, in the month of April after I return. I might actually do one again, or do one in March. I'm not sure. Haven't figured out. Don't know what I'm going to be recording, so that's where it all depends. That's where it all lies on when you guys actually get to see the videos. Depends on what clips I get and how many clips I get, how much footage I get from the conference. And it's going to be crazy because right now we're under a crisis of having coronavirus all over the place, and it's going to be crazy because we're not going to be able to really interact like we normally do at a conference. So it should be interesting, and quite a few of the authors have already canceled, which is sad, kind of sad. Is really sad. But nobody's health is above, enjoyment. So I, let those authors do what they have to do to keep themselves healthy, so it's all good. On to the best part of this video that I like. I like this part because I get to talk about books in more depth, and that is my top 5 reads for the month. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys in Bookish News, I did a collab video with a bunch of romance readers, and I was the one that put it out for the month of February, but we will have more favorites videos coming for you on the different channels and stuff like that, so make sure that you are checking out those channels that are linked because you don't want to miss our favorites. And they're so wide and varied, you can get so many good recommendations from everybody. Okay, on to my top 5 reads for the month of February. I'm going to start it off with Legend by M.R. Leahy. This is part of the Sinister Fairy Tales collection. I absolutely adored this book. I devoured it. It is a dark and twisted fairy tale retelling, reimagining of Tarzan and Jane, and I loved every single moment of it. It was so very good. I think you guys should totally go and read it, and that's all I can continue to say about that one. The next book I'm going to talk about is Great and Precious Things by Rebecca Yarros, and this didn't just make the list because Rebecca freaking sent me a personalized box with a signed copy of this and so many amazing personalized goodies. Oh no, I read it and I absolutely loved this story. This story follows a military guy that gets a phone call from his dad needing help, and when he returns home, he has a reputation in his small town in which they live because they are a founding family. They are part of the founding families that found his town, the small town that he's from. And he has a bad reputation of being the bad boy and the one that starts things and the instigator and stuff like that. So it is this huge, amazing family story. There is a love interest that happens to be in the story and stuff like that. And there's some tension there because there was a brother, and it was just so good. It was so different, and it emotionally just drew me in, and I was just there for this story. I loved every single moment of it. It is a gorgeous cover at that, and I just loved it oh so much. Oh so much. Another Rebecca Yarros story that I will be talking about probably all year long. The next book I'm going to talk about is Imprisoned by K.L. Don, and this is part of the Sinister fairy tale retellings that are coming out that I'm part of the art team for. I really enjoyed this book as well. It is a modern, dark, twisted romance that is reimagining of Sleeping Beauty and Maleficent, and it has all those fantastical moments in it and fantastical elements, as well as having a modern day spin on it. There is a trigger warning for human trafficking and torture, so be wary of that before you go into this book, that if that is not something that you can handle, it is discussed within the book. And I was here for just that whole, how it was handled and everything like that. I just loved this reimagining so very much. The next book I'm going to talk about is Flame, which is Web of Desire #2 by Alethea Romig. This is the second book in the Web of Desire series. This is Patrick's middle story with Madeline, and I got to the end of this. I knew it was going to end on a cliffhanger because it's a 3-book, it's a trilogy. I knew that, you know, things were just going to be left and I was going to have to wait. And I literally jumped out of bed when I got to the end of this book and was like, I need Ashes like right now. I need it, I need it, I need it. And this whole Web freaking Sparrow's Outfit trilogies that Alethea is putting out is absolutely amazing. And this book is definitely that as well. I do suggest that you go and read the Sparrow sort of outfit from the beginning when it comes to trying to jump in, because you don't have to. You can just start this trilogy on its own with Spark, but to enhance your reading experience, I definitely say go and read the other 2 trilogies that are available, so that you can jump into this one and know sort of the players and how they all sort of intertwine and be really twisted up in the series and things like that while you're reading it. And the final book that I'm talking about is A Fighting Absolution by Kate McCarthy. This is a military book. It is actually set in Australia with the Australian military. However, it had very close ties and close linkings to American military settings and mannerisms and things like that. You have 2 people that meet when they are in their childhood, and they go through some things and they have to sort of build upon that, but then when they meet again in their adulthood while they're in the military, they have to go through more things, and it's about finding yourself, it's about finding each other, and loss and grief and things like that, but it's done in such a beautiful, heartwarming, and just touching way that I was just completely drawn into this story, and I loved it. It was like tops for the month of February. Okay, so those were my top 5 reads. I hope that you will go and check them out. Let me know down in the comment section if you have actually already read any of those books or any of the other books that I have already discussed. At this point, if you already know my outro and everything like that, feel free to look in the in the description box and time jump to all of the book covers in which I read, broken down by the week, so that you can go check out the reviews in depth and everything like that. So I will see you guys later if you're time jumping. Peace. For those that didn't time jump, as always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, there is a feedback form down in the description box so you guys can help me improve my channel. I've also included a recommendations form where you can recommend books to me. All I need is the title of the book, the author's name, and the genre that it falls into, and I would greatly appreciate it if you left your name as well, because if it is used in a project or if I end up reading the book, I would love to shout you out on giving me that recommendation. Even if it's a bad one, I still want to shout you out and, you know, let you know that I read a book that you recommended to me. I am also including in this video down below, my son his swim club is doing fundraising and everything like that. So if you have a couple extra dollars and you want to participate and help keep him in the water a little bit longer, they are doing a raffle, and the best thing about it is that you can put your information in there so that if you buy a raffle ticket and you win during the raffle, they can actually send you your prize if you win. So all donations are welcome and appreciated, so go check that out as well. I guess that's it, you guys. So thank you for watching, and we will see you guys in the next video.